So, what's up everyone? As you can see here, we have a baby. This is, if I can get her to say hi. This is Una. She is 2 weeks old. And I'm just gonna tell you all about our birth experience right now. It was pretty crazy, but I think all birth experiences are crazy when you're the one going through them. But so she was born 2 weeks ago, Thursday the 21st, and labor was kind of lasted for a long time. So I was in labor for basically 4 days. The first 4 days were, the first 3 days were kind of like Braxton Hicks, or just like the beginning part of labor, like early labor. So I had really light contractions for like the first 3 days. So starting about the 18th. So starting the 18th, I started to have contractions, and they never really got free constant. So I was just waiting, and then finally on the night of the 21st, I started to have really intense contractions, and I was like, okay, I started to try and time them, but I would always get distracted, so I never really quite figured out how far apart they were, but I would estimate like 4-ish minutes apart. So then I called my midwife because I was delivering at a birth center, and I called her. This was about 8 o'clock, and I was like, hey, I think I'm in labor. I think my contractions have picked up, and I think it's time to head to the birth center because they were really intense. I couldn't even lay down because every time I had them, I was just like, oh my god, I really need to stand up. So yeah, she's like, well, just wait a little bit, because she figured since I was calling, I wasn't in that much pain, so I probably could afford to wait a little bit longer. That way I wasn't at the birth center for too long. So I was like, okay. So I figured I'd just wait it out a little bit, see how long I could last. So I tried to lay down, and I actually fell asleep and slept for like maybe 2 hours. Then I woke up, and I was like, oh my god, I think I have to push. Like, I felt a pressure, like a major pressure, like every time I had a contraction. But I was so scared to push because I didn't want her to start coming out and I'd be at home and like not know what to do. Ooh, good burp. Oh. So yeah, I was like, I don't want to push her out in the car. Like, I just want to be at the birth center and just feel safe to push. So I called my midwife back, and I was like, okay, I think it's really time for me to head there because I feel like pushing out. And she was like, okay, go ahead and head to the birth center. So we loaded up the car, headed to the birth center. My boyfriend and myself, my other kids stayed with my parents, and then we got there. It was super dark, and my midwife came, and I saw her, and I was like, yes, finally I can push. And yeah, I didn't have to worry about having to deliver in the car, like anything crazy like that. So we got in the birth center. I was much more relaxed, and they filled up the bathtub for me, and I was like,
Many months later.
So fast forward 8 months later, and I'm finally finishing this video. I started this birth story when Una was 2 weeks old, and now she's 8 months old. So yeah, that gives you a little bit of perspective on how much of a procrastinator I am. So we arrived at the birth center, and the entire time we were driving there, I felt like pushing. So yeah, like I said, once I saw my midwife, I was just like so relieved that I could like finally push and there would be someone there that knew what they were doing, even though like I feel slightly confident that I would be able to do this on my own. Like just have, maybe I just wanted to have that extra reassurance that like someone's there that's a professional and knows what they're doing. So yeah, so once I saw her face, I was like, yes, I can finally push. And I thought I was gonna have the baby like so fast, like just get there and push. But little did I know, we arrived at the birth center about 3 a.m. And so yeah, I immediately got into the tub. They filled up the birth tub and I immediately got in, and I feel like I really couldn't relax at all. Like, I mean, I could relax, but like every time I had a contraction, like I was trying to push. So yeah, the contractions, it was fine. It was fine. Like I was in the tub, laboring. Every time I had a contraction, I would push, because it would help relieve the pain of the contraction, like kind of just like going with the contraction, pushing. So yeah. So yeah, then my midwife was like, do you want to know how dilated you are? And I was like, no, I opted to not find out. I was like, no, it's fine. I'm just going to keep going, keep progressing. Because I already knew that I was progressing because I could feel it. Like my contractions were close together. They were really intense. I felt the urge to push. I didn't see a reason to like be like, oh, you're 6 centimeters. So I was like, damn, I still have like 4 centimeters to go. I'd rather just like keep going without knowing. So yeah, I kept laboring in the tub. I labored in the tub for about 2 hours. So by this time it's like 5 a.m. And then I decided to get out and like kind of like walk a little, and they cleaned out the tub, and I just like walked around a little bit, labored outside of the tub for a little bit, and then I just like really wanted to get back in the tub because that was really the only relief that I had. And since my first 2 births were not water births, I was so determined to have a water birth this time that I just wanted to keep staying in the tub in case it was time to push. I wasn't like out of the tub. So yeah, so I just like kept getting back in the tub that way in case the baby was born, I'd be in the tub. So yeah, so after about laboring like 45 minutes out of the tub, I don't know, times are like all off at this point. It's 8 months later, so I just know I got back into the tub, labored longer, and the entire time I was pushing at this point, I kept reaching like up, like inside, to see if I could feel the baby, and I could feel like a bulging like bag, or like I felt my bag of waters, and I just felt it up there. It just felt like so round, and it was just like I could tell like it was ready to like burst at any moment. So yeah, I kept like trying to like help ease it out like with my hand, which sounds weird, but yeah. So every time I push, I'd like reach up and like try and help guide the baby out. So yeah, on one really strong intense contraction, I just felt like this huge like burst, and like yeah, I knew my water had broken, and that was the first time that I felt my water break that way. My first birth, my water was broken for me. So the midwife like broke my water with some tools, so I didn't feel that burst. And then the second time, I never felt my water break. So this is the first time I actually felt like my water like burst. But I was in the tub, so I didn't like actually see the burst. But yeah, I told my midwife, I was like, okay, my water just definitely broke. So she had me get out of the tub, dry off, and then they cleaned out the tub again. And then so at this point, I was like, okay, you can just go ahead and check my progress just to make sure like I'm progressing the way I think I am. And she's like, oh yeah, okay, erase that. That's not how it happened. Okay, so yeah, after my water broke, yeah, it was game on. And within an hour, like, I labored in the tub and I was just like so tired, like not tired, I was just like really like mentally drained from the intensity of labor. This was definitely by far my most intense labor. So I was just like hovered over the birth tub, holding onto my boyfriend's arms like for leverage, just to like push, and I just like kept trying to push so hard, but like nothing was happening. I was just getting frustrated. My midwife could tell I was getting frustrated. So she suggested that I get out. She's like, do you want things to move further? I was like, yes. Like, she could see how like desperate I was. And so I was like, all right. She's like, do you want to get out in the bed and get out and push on the bed? And as much as like I really wanted my water birth, I was like, fuck it, let's just get on the bed, because I knew that's the way I delivered all my other 2 babies. I knew it was gonna happen that way. So whatever, we just did it. And literally as soon as I got on the bed, within 10 minutes, my baby girl was born. So yeah, I got onto the bed, lay down, not like lay down, but like kind of like sat up with my legs up, and like one on like a cabinet that was close to the bed, and then my boyfriend was like holding my other leg. And so as soon as I lifted my legs, everyone's like, okay, we get ready to see the baby's head. So she was like right there. I just needed to be in that optimal position to push her out. So yeah, I pushed so hard. Everyone's like, push. So I was just pushing as hard as I can, and literally within, I don't know, 3 pushes, she was out. And yeah, so here's a little clip of the actual birth. If you don't like seeing babies emerging, like the actual birth, don't continue watching. But if you do, check it out.
Perfect.
Slow, slow and easy. Slow. Oh, she had her hand there.
That's your sister. That was really crazy.
That was amazing. You did it, honey. You did it. Let's dry her off. Why is mommy quiet?
She's just happy, baby. She's just happy, baby.
See your face. Oh my goodness.
Stay right there, Boo. Not yet.
Little baby, huh? She crying?
See, our baby girl's born. No pain meds, no nothing. Just me and my body doing what it knows how to do. So yeah, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions about the birth experience, drop them below. But yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Here's 8-month-old Uni. All right, bye.